culturally, the Sojiisk community had always been embedded within our culture, within our customs, and within our traditions, particularly for us Akava'ine. So our Akava'ine, we are the custodians of the culture. We are the costume makers. We are the tailors, the composers, the choreographers. For a very, very long time, we were also the genealogy keepers. I myself can recite my genealogy 100 generations before me. And the reason for this is we look after the children, we look after the women, we look after the men, we look after the elders. We make a home beautiful, and therefore we keep the knowledge of the home.
So like we have different cultures in the coastal areas of Papua New Guinea, up in the highlands, up in the New Guinea Islands as well. They are very, very different. For a trans person myself, like living up in the coastal area of Papua New Guinea, the culture there is more accepting. I was accepted like in my family, in my community, but I cannot say the same up in the highlands where the culture doesn't, culture you have to be a man, you need to get married, all that. So we have lots of transgender women who have beard, who always wear, jackets to move around so that they can be able to, cover their body. And we have some of the transgender women who are forced to marry because of their cultural.
I see most trans people who loves to sing, and I've seen most of them who are choir masters, and that is their talent. That is what I've seen. But when it comes to the Vanua, it's kind of different there. They are mostly in urban areas because they feel more comfortable in the urban than rural because of the stigma. Probably when I was young, growing up, because I usually play rugby with the boys. I never touched dolls. I usually, when they go into the forest, going hunting and all, I used to follow them. I remember one time my mom, when she came back from work looking for me, and I was like out of the house, and what she did, she took all my shots, because I always wear shots. She took all my shots, she took it outside, poured kerosene on it, and she burnt off my shot. And she told me, start wearing dress. Next morning I told my dad. My dad took me shopping, bought a new shorts. So I think from that time onwards, my parents kind of knew that, I was more like a tomboy.
We have a lot of trans men in Fiji. Most of them are not really coming out to these kind of spaces. They are worried if they come out, then what the family. And interviews like this, they worry that maybe it's gonna go out there and make a lot of more problems, because a lot of them face problems from their families. Like most of them are kicked out of their houses, and so most of them, they like to keep it low.
Well, in Tonga is a Christian country, and most of us are that's our religion. Most of us are being adapted to the Christian's way, and it's a strong culture and traditions. And with our culture in Tonga, I would like to say thank you to all the pioneers of Tonga Lady Association for being one of the advocate for gender equality in Tonga, and that's how we have come up to a stage where we get accepted for who we are, and even in our families, they understand how we are as a trans people. And it's really important for us because of their work that came before us, and I would love to give my gratitude and thank you to them as they established Tonga Lady Association in 1992, and from there up to now, we're still free to be who we are. Is what we want it to be.
Untuk istilah tersendiri di dalam lingkungan masyarakat itu masih terkenal dengan kata banci ya kalau di sana. Tapi mereka ada beberapa yang memiliki istilah sendiri agar tidak menyinggung perasaan teman-teman transpuannya, itu dengan sebutan bambu. Bambu itu adalah batang bungkus, artinya adalah alat kelamin yang disembunyikan.
We have lots of local terms like 800 plus languages, but that was not really common for all of us because we had some of our transgender community from other provinces as well. So we actually sat together and we came up with Palopa. Palopa was, like, it was just somebody thought of it and, we decided, calling ourselves Palopas. It became so popular that, in community that we have other peers who are not from our community also calls us Palopa, and it's not so, discriminatory. It's good to hear. So when I'm being called a Palopa, I feel good.
So for us, the word trans woman, trans man, those are foreign terms to us. In our language, we call it Akava'ine and Akatututane. Akava'ine, the word Aka is a prefix that we put in front of words. Va'ine means woman. So Akava'ine means to be perceived as a woman. But the meaning is so much deeper than that. Anyone could be Akava'ine. Any feminine features, any hints of femininity. You could be a cis presenting man who happens to like other men. That is also Akava'ine. It is more than just a label. It is encapsulating who you are. And the same for Akatututane. It's more than just being a trans man. It also embodies the role and responsibility to society, to the community, to the village.
Because fa'a means in the manner of. Fa'afine is woman, in the manner of a woman. Fa'a is in the manner of. Tama is man, in the manner of man.
Yeah, we call ourselves in Tonga as whakalady or ladylike. But some of us, we just prefer to be called as a transgender because that's how we define ourselves. Now we have like different LGBT community that participating and join our TLA organization at the moment, and everyone is feel free to address themselves for who they are. Even though we accept and some people accept us for our third gender, but still in Tonga we still have the male and female gender especially for the census statistic and stuff like that in Tonga.
Every year in the Cook Islands, we celebrate our independence on August the 4th. And we do that by having a massive countrywide celebration. This celebration includes dancing, singing, parades. Every single village, every single island that is represented on the stage will have at least minimum of one Akava'ine in their team to make the costumes, to compose the songs, to choreograph the dance moves.
In the Samoan culture, we are included as one with the general people, the boys and girls. For us, so therefore our cultural Fa'afine and Fa'atama identity is not really visible in this area, so we create our own culture to celebrate ourselves. That's why we have our full week that's called the Fa'afine Festival. It's a celebration of ourselves, but at the same time the message is being delivered in terms of our human rights, in terms of our sexual reproductive health rights.
I'm from Benga Island, which is known as a fire-walking island in Fiji. And in my island, most of my family, they do fire walking. I do healing of burnt people. So if someone gets burnt, I heal it. And in my family, I don't face any issues or problems or even a question from them like the way I am. It's because of the support I still do towards the community, the family, and the church.
Untuk wilayah di tempat saya tinggal sendiri, belum banyak orang yang memahami tentang keberagaman gender itu sendiri. Jadi mereka tuh masih banyak yang bingung tentang keadaan kita gitu. seperti transpuan. Dengan ekspresi kita mereka bilang ini perempuan tapi peranakan laki-laki gitu, masih bingung dengan hal-hal seperti itu gitu. Untuk di lingkungan sekitar sendiri sih aku rasa masih cukup aman untuk penerimaannya, cuman beberapa terkait layanan publik itu masih agak susah terkait keberagaman gender itu. Apalagi di teman transpuan itu masih ada stigma terkait ekspresi gender kita.
There's been a realization of how there's a broad brushing of trans experiences. The lived experiences of trans people are not only unique, we must also take into consideration the context of indigeneity from within the Pacific and from that and draw from it. All of this helps us inform our programmatic, how we develop our programs. Another one of our programs is just creating a safe space and forums for people to talanoa.
The Miss Galaxy Queen pageant is one of the recognized pageant in Tonga, and I think within the Pacific, it's one of the most popular pageant for transgender, and even recognized in the United States. Because a lot of transgender people from the United States, they come to Tonga and participate in the Miss Galaxy pageant just to get more. It's more like a way for them to access to other beauty pageant in America and throughout the world. And this pageant is all about us advocating the rights of transgender and also HIV awareness and other programs that could include different aspects that helps out with the LGBT community. And I believe having the pageant in Tonga is one of the ways that we get to talk to promote what we do, and it's a way of us outreach to the community and telling them stories about ourselves as transgender communities in Tonga and how we get to be involved in so many activities in Tonga, such as the Hilala Week. So that's where we usually held our Miss Galaxy Queen pageant, along with the Miss Hilala.
My timing of driving is normally in the evening, where these transgenders love to go out. So I start 3 p.m. to 12 a.m. driving in Suva City. So I always go down. There's a lot of sex workers in town that are trans women, so I normally go and I stop sometimes and I chat with them, have a cigarette, yeah, and sometimes when I'm just passing by, they are calling my name out. So most of those trans women in the city standing on the roads, sex workers, and even in the day, working ones, they all know me because I've gone into social media a lot, because before when I joined COVID, and then we had this a lot of people not working and all. So I was one of the only taxi that provided barter system in Fiji. I provided services bartering instead of paying. So I went all over social media, through the TV and the papers. Yeah, I didn't expect that. I just offered the services because I wanted to provide for our community plus the people around us.
I just want to thank the elder transgender that came before us. We have come up to a stage where we feel like we're being accepted already for who we are.
It was really hard at that time. They were the one that faced a lot of violence, physical violence before, and we don't hardly have this kind of spaces, you know. And I really appreciate them so much.
Yeah, what else can I say other than fight the good fights? I hope you can see from what we are doing right now, you would have a fair understanding, and that when you grow up, none of these issues exist anymore. Then you can live freely yourself. If I had something to say to the young people, it would be be strong. They're champions in their own very way, and to always be safe. You find safety and solace in community, so find your safe space. There's so many evidences of resilience. Just look around. There's so many evidences of people who are just like you. And there's reason to live. Because we're here because of them. And of course, the legacy must continue. Right?